pain, but I can't let you hurt me ever again. What I gotta do to be loved? What I gotta do to see love? A battle I'm sure to lose. Chest wide open from the exit wounds, and you pull the trigger. But if I say what you want me to say.
The primary purpose of the CAF podcast is to express platform for creatives to express their personal views or opinions without restriction or censorship. All views or opinions expressed during the CAF podcast are solely those of individuals expressing such views or opinions and does not reflect the views of the CAF podcast.
I bet you the lowest rate probably somewhere like New York, and that's gonna be crazy.
The lowest probably like in Vermont and Montana or some shit.
Oh, wow. Wow, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Wyoming, West Virginia, Utah, Idaho, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Connecticut.
Are the lowest?
Mm-hmm.
Really, New Jersey? I would think that would be up there a little bit higher.
It sounds very conspiracy theorist to me. How those the lowest and the other ones are the, come on.
Okay, so Vermont is 201 per 100K.
Utah makes sense because that's a Mormon state. They ain't just having sex.
What are they doing, bro?
No. They're not having sex. They like sex. Maybe it's probably one person per two people.
Bro, they make like one dude got like 4 or 5 wives.
Brigham Young had over 100 wives himself.
Yeah.
But are they?
I had to learn Utah history. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. You are from Utah.
From Utah.
Yeah.
But from that video on Netflix, they were all loyal to him. If they would have had sex with somebody else, I think they would have got killed. From what I saw in the video,
I'm not sure. We didn't go that far in school. They just taught us that, and they had pictures of his wives listed in our book.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
But once again,
he had over 100 wives.
He ain't got that much
wives. Yes.
He ain't got that much energy to even have sex with 4 of them every day.
Right. So, that's on them. They probably weren't getting it like that back then anyway. So
right. So 100 wives, they was probably each one of them was probably having sex like 3 times a year, maybe.
I wouldn't say 3 times a year.
And I think the youngest was like 14.
Oh, he was running through them. The youngest one, it was the older ones who weren't getting it.
Let me see. Let's see.
That is a crazy ass state. I just want to throw that out there.
I ain't never been to Utah.
I don't have plans on going to Utah.
You should go skiing. It's fun. Like we used to go skiing for field trips.
I'll tell you what, Quita.
Hey, Blaine DJSTAR birthday weekend 2024
in Utah. In Utah. We gonna turn. Listen, just with everybody from my crew going there, we'll turn that whole place upside down.
I don't think they want to see us.
Man, what I have so many. Let me shut up. I have so many white women in the air. Mm-hmm.
It says at the time of his death, he had 56 women.
56.
He was married to 56.
Quita, let me ask you this question.
This is legally married.
In Utah.
Had to be.
Quita, the person you are right now in your sexual appetite, would you have made it in Utah?
Would I have made it in Utah?
Yeah. Ain't but so much.
Anywhere.
It ain't so many black men out there. So would you would have got with a white
I mean, but absolutely.
Oh,
like my brother, all of his children are mixed. They're mixed with either Samoan, Filipino, Mexican, or what's the last one? Oh, I already said Filipino. Okay. So they're either Samoan, Filipino, or Mexican.
You would have took I know for a fact, if I was in Utah, I would have took a lot of trips To Vegas.
Trips
to go
to Vegas.
To go
Well,
pay
I
for
was
it.
young, so
I'll be
like
in
we
Vegas.
usually we went to Vegas because Dad had to preach. Wyoming because Dad had to preach. California, Dad had to preach.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been in Vegas every month down there paying for it.
We were actually in Vegas after Tupac got shot. So the guy that we stayed with, he was working on getting Tupac's body for whatever reason. I have no idea. But we were there a few days after he got shot. Huh?
Didn't he didn't they cremate him, supposedly?
I have no idea. I really wasn't into Tupac like that. I was raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. So yeah, I was into the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, we get it. Using
Spice
Utah.
Girls.
We get it. It's Utah.
Yeah, we can tell.
Utah.
You still got a little bit of that flavor in you.
Yeah, that's why when you see all these niggas, you like, oh my God.
It literally was a culture shock. When we moved back to Arkansas, it was a culture shock. Like, it was so many Black kids.
But Dad was a pastor in Utah.
Yes.
Was it a Mormon church?
No, it was a Baptist church.
How was the congregation? That's a good question. It was
a mixed congregation.
Like black and white folks?
Yeah. All like not just black and white, like Mexican, Samoan, Tongan. Huh?
First Baptist or Southern Baptist?
Now you know it's not gonna be
no Southern.
That's the
like literally, I'm telling you, like, so that's why I talk like this, or that's why I know how to articulate my words, because when we went there, they put me in speech. So I had a resource class to learn how to talk.
Oh wow, that's tough.
I know, like I'm like, dang, I had a whole SPED class
for speech
in elementary. Because we say y'all, you, they.
No, I got a question, Quita, because you're a preacher's kid, right?
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
So don't be scared. It's gonna be a good conversation.
Be scared when I ask you a question. Be scared when I ask you a question.
Be scared when TJ asks too. How deep we finna go?
How deep can you go? That's the question, right? So I peep this. What's your thoughts on polygamy? Like the Brigham Young deal, like a man having multiple wives. What's your thoughts on that? I want your honest. You don't care. Like you would be in a relationship. I don't.
Like you talking about me personally?
Yeah, yes, you personally.
Okay, so me personally, at this point in my life, I would.
You would?
I would.
Okay. Now I asked that question. I asked that question because I hear a lot of women say that they wouldn't, or they are against it, like they don't agree with it, right? But yet those same women are faithful Christians and Bible believers, and yet a lot of the prominent men in the Bible had multiple wives. So
they had multiple wives, but I believe it was more like in the Old Testament,
right?
You know, it's
but here's what I'm getting to, right? Like, how can you believe in a book that speaks and that basically says that it's okay to do this thing, but yet you personally don't believe in said thing? Not saying that you have to be willing to be in a polygamous relationship, but yet if you shun that, then essentially you are shunning the Bible too, right?
Well, I'm not the person that
just
read the Bible like that. Like I don't study the Bible like that. So I think at some point I think it was after the death of Christ that things started to change. Because I can't see it happening before. Because they literally
it did before, because it did happen before. Because you remember Pharaoh, he had like so many wives and.
No, I'm saying after the death of Christ is when it probably changed into being submissive to your wife, that one person. Because, you know, in the beginning, they had concubines, like they had women.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was in the Old Testament. So I don't know at what point it switched, but I'm sure we can find out. I'm sure I can find that. I be for some shit like this now.
But I think ain't it's okay to have like because once you marry, it say something like it's okay if you was to do stuff, but make sure you do it with your wife or your husband.
Well, okay, so the 10 Commandments, you're not supposed to covet your neighbor's wife. Like,
okay, never mind.
So, like, okay, wait. Which way we going with this conversation at this point? Because
so we started with polygamy,
right.
And then we got to the Bible. The Bible said it's some stuff you can do, but then I brought it up. Then Quita was like,
well, in the beginning, they had concubines, and then
hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. So then Quita took us to Utah. And Quita like, I ain't throwing no ass in Utah. Then we brought it back, and then it was concubines, and then I was like, you can do that. Then Quita said, but that 7 commandments say you're not supposed to.
10.
No, it's the 7th one of the 10th commandment.
Oh, the 7th.
Oh, I thought he said the 7 commandments.
I thought he said the 7 too. I'm like,
it's the 7th one of the 10 commandments. God said you can't be looking at such and such boo thing.
It's him paraphrasing it though.
Right.
But let me tell you something. I could paraphrase a story for you, and you'll get it. You're like, man, he shouldn't have did that. But anyways, I'm not with polygamy. I need one.
You say you're not with it? Okay.
I need one. I ain't got that much energy to be worried.
But see, that's why I was like, because biblically, you know, what you're taught, I'm like,
and that's the thing that I be getting to. Like, a lot of people would say that they are not okay with a certain thing or against a certain thing, but yet believe in the Bible, which throughout the Bible says that that very thing is, in a way, it's okay. Or those people were not punished for doing said thing. You know what I'm saying? They actually were exalted in some cases. So it's like how can you mentally say that you're not okay with that, but also believe in these stories that say that these things are okay? So yeah, I just let me tell you something. That is one book.
I'm not a theologian, so I can't just really help you with this. You know what I'm saying?
That is one book that would never get interpreted right, because there's so many ways you can go with it. Like even when they're talking about the paying of the tithe and all that, grace giving and all that, it goes so many. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely misconstrued.
So much.
The tithe is actually supposed to be for the widows and their children.
It's that book right there. God literally need to come down and say, this is what I actually meant. Y'all been effing. He ain't gonna say that, but say, y'all been getting this wrong, my boy.
You know, now there's a movie, but not a movie. It's a show. It's probably still on Netflix called The 100, right? And it's not a religious show, but throughout the show, so they sent there was a nuclear bomb that went off on Earth, right? And they had these space stations in space, of course, and it was 12 stations that came together, and there was a 13th station that was supposed to join them, but the 13th station got blew up in space. Then as the show goes on, it shows how there was this person that came from that 13th station to Earth and basically saved the people that was on Earth with something that they injected into their bloodstream. And that's how they was able to survive the nuclear fallout or whatever the case might be. So 100 years later, they had their culture set based off of that original person coming down to earth. And the people that were following that particular culture just was worshiping, quote unquote, the commander. That's what they called it, the commander. As like basically would have been their God, right? So the other people that were in space for all those years knew the actual backstory. When they came down to Earth, they started talking to these people like, yo, these are not gods. These are regular people that y'all are worshiping. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all think y'all are worshiping is something completely different than the culture y'all have created behind this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I look at the church like that, and I'm like, man, like, how far have we gotten from what the original thing was in the biblical times? You know what I'm saying?
We too far from it. We too far from it.
I don't know because I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure we are.
The reason why I say we too far from it, look how many religions this is.
And that's another thing too. Like, how can
But that's the thing, because I mean, God gives you your own conscience. Like, you make the decision on what you want to do.
But here's the thing: it's preached that you should not take away from the word of God. The word of God is what it is, right? So if it is what it is, then how can we have multiple denominations and religions and all this stuff? I mean, that's just a question I have. However, I also look at it like this. Everybody have their own perspective of God based on their geographic location, right? Right. Muslims, because of where they are, they had a certain experience. The best way I can explain it is 9/11, right? My story of 9/11 is going to be completely different than somebody's story that actually was in New York on 9/11. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the exact same event, but because based on our geographic location, our stories are going to be completely different.
And your connection to 9/11. Because I was just in high school, and I'm like,
I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, teacher came in, oh my God, they just attacked the World Trade Center, turn on the news, we watching Channel 1, and all classes of council, we just
Channel 1.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's old school. I'm dating myself right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, chill, we watching that. But people, the students in New York, like, they probably got out of school, went home. They trying to.
We still had classes as if it didn't even happen.
One of my teachers cried, but we still had classes. I'm like, what are the? Yeah, we was still in school. I didn't even know what the World Trade Centers was. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Do you hear you? The Twin Towers? Didn't know about them.
Right. I'm like, what is that? And then they showed the picture. I'm like, is this a movie? They're like, nah, this real. Really? Yeah. They know nothing about the World Trade Centers.
Right. Yeah. So like, it's all based on geographic location and stuff like that, man, and your experience.
And the next thing you know, I'm like, okay, we're going to war. I guess I ain't joining the military when I graduated high school.
He changed your mind real quick, didn't you?
What? That Navy thing came off that list so fast. We'll go to college. So, but yeah, God gonna have to come down and say, hey, this is what I really meant when I made this book. Because that would be one of the top 5 questions I would ask him if I was in.
He didn't write the book though.
But he gave the interpretation of the book, though.
Hey, Perkins.
That's also debatable.
That he didn't write the book.
That he gave his interpretation. It's our interpretation of who God is.
Of what happened, like their experiences.
Yeah. Right.
What are you in?
Like
his car.
You getting pulled over by the cops? Blinky eyes, you getting pulled over by the cops. Oh.
Yeah, those are, I have several questions that I be pondering.
Hey, look, if you want to be in a poly relationship and she cool with it,
yeah,
I try not to. I'm saying if you try to be in a poly relationship and it works for you, my boy, my girl, go for you. If it works, do you.
If it works.
If it works, do you. I just ain't got the energy for it. I want to buy one wedding gift. I want to deal with one birthday. I want to take one girl on one trip. Now we go somewhere, we do something with somebody else. That's different. But when we done, hey, you go your way, and then we go our way.
Oh wow.
And shout out to all the women who don't know they in a poly relationship thinking they got one man.
That's tough. The boy said the one.
He's such an asshole, though.
You know how many women in poly relationships don't even know it?
Yeah, it's not a poly relationship then, is it?
I wouldn't. I don't think that's technically a poly relationship.
It's a poly relationship. They just don't know it. It's a poly relationship.
Artificial poly relationship.
So. We ain't gonna put their business out there, but we know who they are.
Who you talking about?
Just people in general.
Who you talking about? The one in the corner right there to the left at the bottom?
I ain't gonna. Nah, she ain't in one. No, she definitely.
Damn, it's me.
Nah, she ain't in.
Who y'all talking about then? When we start keeping secrets?
Okay, Perk with the shit. But we were just talking in general.
He said Perk with the shit.
He definitely came on with the shit tonight.
Yeah, like we were just talking in general. TJ brought up
always with the shit.
Hold on. Matter of fact, TJ, tell Perk what you said earlier about the Bible and then how women are not agreeing to it. I want to hear this answer.
So I say.
No, ask him the question.
I asked Quita what was her thoughts on polygamous relationships, and I said, I asked because there are women out here who are saying that they are against it and would not do it, basically shunning polygamous relationships, but they also are devout Christians and Bible believers, right? Which is kind of a contradiction for you to say that you believe in the Bible, but yet you are completely against polygamous relationships because most of the prominent men in the Bible had multiple wives. So
what the fuck you talking about now, TJ? Now you on some other shit now.
Man, listen to it all the way through. You ain't even listening all the way through.
He's talking about them having concubines.
So if a woman says she's against the polygamy, but yet she believes in the Bible, and a lot of the men in the Bible had multiple wives, which is polygamy, right? So that's basically cognitive dissonance.
How?
Because you believe in the Bible and they have polygamous relationships in the Bible, but yet you don't agree with it in the real world.
That don't you don't agree with everything in the Bible, so that don't mean you don't agree in the Bible.
Okay, right. Okay. So what What I'm saying is, if you believe in the Bible, then how can you not believe in everything in the Bible?
Because you don't agree with everything in the Bible.
But you believe in the Bible,
Thank you,
I don't agree with everything in the Bible. I just agree with you on that. So the polygamy part ain't got nothing to do with that. I mean, I agree. Let me say this. I agree with the Bible. I agree with religion. But shit, I want to be in a polygamy relationship. So, I mean, you can't say that because everybody ain't doing what they're supposed to do. So let me ask you this question. Since you brought that up, do you believe in the Bible?
I read the Bible as a study.
No. You would not fucking technically not answer my question.
I'm telling you. I use the Bible.
A yes or no answer.
I use the Bible as a study book. I'm not going to sit here and tell
you.
So
is that a yes? Is that a yes? Because he's using it to study.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I have a newfound belief on a new concept on the word belief, right? You only can believe in something that you don't know.
You can believe in something you don't know?
You can only believe in something. If you know something, then you don't have to believe it.
You don't have to believe it. Okay, there we go.
Right?
So you make the decision to believe it.
For you to say that you believe in the Bible means that you don't know that this stuff is real or not.
Okay.
Right?
So first of all, hold on, before you go any further, where did you get this change of heart from?
Because I read.
Okay.
Bible.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
Go ahead with what?
Whatever you're saying, because right now you got me. I'm confused.
He was saying that He's saying why that women that are downheart Christians that believe in the Bible don't believe in polygamous relationships.
Because they don't believe in polygamy. So, I mean, you were raised off the Bible, and some people don't believe in it because some people in the Bible had one wife. Just because there's people that prominent men that had multiple wives doesn't mean that everybody want to be there though. That
Right.
doesn't make it, that does not make that true that, oh, well, if you believe in the Bible and you don't believe in polygamy, then you really don't. No, that's not true. That's why I said everybody believe in different things in the Bible. Like I like the Bible, but shit, the Quran ain't no different than the Bible. It just comes from a different perception. So if I like what I like, it to me what you said, I get what you're saying, but that ain't how I look at it. But go ahead.
So I'm not saying that you have to believe in polygamy. I'm saying if you say it's not for me, that's one thing. But to say, oh, that's not like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Well, why are you saying they shouldn't be doing that, but yet they did it in the Bible?
What prominent men are you talking about?
What they did a lot of stuff in the Bible, because that's why the flood came in the beginning. The flood came to reset the earth.
I mean, okay, so Jesus,
it was okay.
Well, one at a time.
Polygamous relationships was not shunned in the Bible. It was actually promoted in the Bible.
At what point?
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me this because I don't know. I'm confused now.
What you confused on?
First of all, I'm gonna tell you now. I probably would never believe.
Oh, we breaking up.
Okay, you're going in a bad area.
All right, yeah. Give me 20 minutes to get home because I need good Wi-Fi to have this.
Well, we'll be out by then.
They talking about 20 minutes.
I just got off.
We gonna come back. We coming back to this because I need to see the promotions.
The who?
The who? Yeah.
The promotion of the polygamous relationships.
The
I need to research this. You said it was promoted.
He said it was in the Bible.
He said it was promoted in the Bible.
No, he said it wasn't. He said it wasn't shown.
It wasn't shown. Meaning, like,
but he just said like it was promoted. It was almost promoted. He just said that
they were actually, some of them were actually exalted. They were prominent men, kings, and like hell, goddamn.
It ain't no different than now. Celebrities and groupies.
Huh?
That's totally different.
What'd you say, Quito?
It ain't no different than now. Celebrities and groupies.
But that's totally
name me some prominent people in the Bible that were practicing polygamy.
Pharaoh.
Shit.
I don't know. I can't tell you that. I'm not the preacher.
Only one I know is Pharaoh. That's the only one I know is Pharaoh.
Wasn't it King David?
Yeah.
David was having women brought to him.
Yes, David wasn't that. David was the one who stayed out there, and his father left him out there, but he ended up being a king.
Yeah, afterward, which he was in a polygamous relationship.
I can't remember my boy's name. It's a couple of them that I'm thinking.
I couldn't tell you. All the one I know is Pharaoh, David. Yeah. It's another king.
But when you speak about prominent people, you got to speak about prominent people that God really used, though.
David.
Okay, you could go with David, but his disciples wasn't polygamy. His mother and his father one that didn't have multiple women. So I'm just saying, like, the way you making it seem is that, okay, if you believe in it, then you can't really say you believe in the Bible if you don't believe in polygamy. That's the way you put it.
No. That's not how I'm putting it. I'm saying it's for you to for someone to say for someone to talk down on polygamous relationships, but yet promote the Bible, right? How?
Yeah, because if you really going off of that, why would you be united with one when you leave your mother's house as a wife and as a husband?
Say
You know
what?
what I'm saying? A couple.
Wait, say that again.
When you get married, it's one and one, right?
Depending on who's the person that's doing the marrying. Because clearly
No,
you
it
can
ain't depending on the person. It's between a man and a woman.
Man and woman didn't say that.
I mean, in
Say
today's time, in today's, per you going in and out with your Wi-Fi. Per you going in and out with your Wi-Fi. I mean,
I'm
with
not
your
on
connection.
Wi-Fi. I'm driving.
Okay, with your connection.
What you were saying, Florida, in today's time? What?
On today's time with laws, it could be with a man and woman.
It says laws, but we talking about the Bible.
Oh, we just just got to throw that out there just in case somebody come for us. Then I got to go for them. Talk shit about them. Because I fuck them laws. I say what the fuck I want to say about the LBGTQ MIC
We not even coming for them.
Yeah, you ain't got to. I'll do all that. I'll take the.
I don't even know what a lot of stuff means.
They added
my son said non-binary the other day, and I was like,
nah, it's like what were we on?
But okay, so we're going back to marriage one-on-one in the Bible.
Yeah, so marriage.
I think Perk was saying like, okay, so it don't say couple, it don't say you and multiple people, it say man and woman.
Right.
It's a union between a man and a woman.
Okay, so to his point, that it only says that in one part of the Bible, or certain part of the Bible, but it also gives several examples of quote unquote marriages with a man and multiple women.
Where?
All right, I'm on once I
said I gotta do my research because I need to know the promotion.
When you say something, then he just pop out of nowhere. Where?
What's the one? With,
his connection just automatically work.
And the one the dude that married the sisters. I can't remember my boy's name.
You said he married him, or he ended up sleeping with one, and then he had to go sleep with the other one to make the baby.
He worked. He wanted the one sister. He worked.
He didn't marry him.
No,
he did not marry him.
He worked. He married the daddy tricked him, so he married the oldest sister, and then he worked another several years, married the second sister.
But it was a trick, right?
Yeah, he didn't marry them together.
Oh shit! Perk. Hold on.
But did he get rid of her though? He still had two wives.
Now that part we don't know.
But it wasn't an honest transaction.
Hold on, wait a minute. I get what he said. No. Listen what I'm saying. I get what he's saying because it didn't say in the Bible that he divorced the other wife. It just said he married the wife he wanted.
He finally got her, but he had children by both of those wives. Those women.
It never in the Bible. It never said that he divorced the wife he didn't want. He married the other wife. So yeah, I get that point. But
I don't think that is promoting polygamy though.
I wasn't saying that. I didn't say that part was promoting polygamy. However, he what's the name was still utilized.
But I'm saying, okay, so you personally, so if you were tricked into marrying this woman, you wouldn't want the woman you were supposed to get in the beginning?
I'm still gonna get my woman that I was gonna get.
But a key point is it didn't say he divorced the other wife.
But it still does not promote polygamy though. Like we're trying to figure out where does it promote polygamy?
That's multiple wives.
But it's not as if it's not knowingly like I don't want to say it's not knowingly marrying two wives, but I don't know. I don't even know how to put this.
It's a lot of gray area in the Bible.
It's a lot of gray.
Like even the part where it's
it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people adjusting things to fit their lifestyles.
That is true. It's true because it's one part of the Bible that I still want to figure out. Because it was Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve had a son, They had two sons. I can't think of the
Cain
name.
and Abel.
Cain and
Cain and
Abel.
Abel. But
Cain killed Abel.
No, whoa. But Cain killed Abel, but Cain got married. So
Cain
where did the
got
woman
kicked
came
out.
from?
Cain
So
got
where
kicked out, and then he went and got married.
So where did that woman came from? That's the question, because it was only Adam and Eve.
A woman who had a whole family somewhere.
Wait, so where did that family come from? Because it was just Adam and Eve.
I mean, that's a whole nother story.
That's the part I was like, okay, so we just gonna skip from Adam and Eve to Cain.
To Cain and Abel.
Marrying another woman, so the woman is actually his sister. Like it's just hey God, hey my God gonna have to come talk to me.
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Nah.
Still got a little what you earlier before, a little Decepticon in your voice.
A little Decepticon in your voice, yeah.
I hope y'all got y'all Decepticon ready then, because y'all talking some dumbass shit right now.
Nah.
5 minutes out though.
Oh.
Get that part. Get 5 minutes out.
So I think it was that Adam and Eve was populating the world, and after
no.
you're not
They were the natural population spring. Everything came from them two. So the question is,
but I'm saying after so many people, you're not gonna be like, you're related, so we're all related, but we're not.
No, but hold on, I'm gonna pull
cousins
it up
anymore.
We're
not sisters and brothers.
There were only two though. The Bible only spoke
in
about
the beginning. There was only two.
Cain and Abel, right?
But
so
Cain and Abel wasn't the first ones though.
Say what?
You had tribes.
You had to populate.
They were tribes. There were tribes. That's why they keep saying we're all sons of Abraham. But they were all we were all part of tribes.
No. We talking about way before Abraham. We talking about Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel.
You still had tribes before them though. That's how he ended up being with somebody.
Before Adam and Eve?
No, after Adam and Eve. They talk about that in the Bible if you read Genesis. They talk about the different tribes.
We haven't gotten to the tribes yet.
But that's when they talk about Adam and Eve though. You can't talk about the tribes and then go to Cain and Abel.
What tribes? There were no tribes when Adam and Eve was there.
I just said they made tribes. If you read the part of the Bible, you can't to Adam and Eve and not talk about the tribes, because they were the two that populated. That's why they say we all kin in some kind of way.
Before the tribes, Adam and Eve had two children, Cain and Abel.
But I'm telling you, for Cain to be able to marry, it was already populations of people.
That wasn't before the tribe.
So you saying the tribes came before Cain and Abel?
Yes.
It had to. Yes.
It doesn't say it in the Bible though. I'm reading.
It does. If you read Genesis, go through reading. Go through and read.
Oh, hold on. Genesis. Okay, it started off Genesis 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was the keeper of the sheep, but Cain was the tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought up the fruit of the ground, yada, yada, yada. And if you skip down, we still in Genesis 4, verse 16, and Cain went out in from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. Where did they come from?
They were all part of tribes. That's what I'm telling you.
There's no tribe talking about it in Genesis.
Which tribe?
That's what we're trying to say. If you even read Genesis 1, verses 2-3, it still doesn't talk about tribe. All it talk about is Adam and Eve. So
I'm gonna forget this man's name.
So if you say there, and this is where I go back and forth. If there were tribes, where did they come from, or were they already here?
Keep reading then. You just stopping because you seen that part.
No, it doesn't. No. Perk, you're not listening. Perk.
Hold on. Listen to me. Listen to me. Y'all just started reading.
I can't hear.
Y'all just started reading Genesis. Oh my God.
Perk.
Right.
Oh,
The tribe came
Genesis.
after
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Abel.
Okay, let me just skim through the voodoo because in Genesis 1
We're
it talk
trying to
about
figure
God.
out where Cain's wife came from. There were
I got what you saying, bro. I hear what you saying. But y'all
so
stopping at 4, like 4 is it. And I'm saying you have to keep reading the whole book of Genesis. It was about the whole beginning. They
yeah,
talk about all of the people that came. That's why I'm saying that. But you
What
keep saying,
chapter?
okay, it wasn't before that.
but
Yeah.
if Adam and Eve were the first man and woman, right? You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also agree that Adam and Eve only had 2 children in the beginning, Cain and Abel? Huh?
Go ahead.
What happened?
So do you agree that Adam and Eve had 2 children, Cain and Abel?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they have any other children after Cain and Abel?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
That's what we
So
saying.
in the Bible,
What are you?
after they
Okay.
had Cain and
All right.
Abel, Cain killed
Right.
Abel. Cain was basically exalted, or not exalted, exiled to go into the woods, the wilderness. When he went into the wilderness, he went and found a wife. Where did that wife come from? You're saying that wife came from the tribes, but there were no other. The Bible didn't speak of any other people before they mentioned him going to get that wife.
Okay, so are you telling me right now that you're talking about from chapter 1 to chapter 4? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Wait. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what TJ talking
All
about.
right. So my point
No,
is,
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
trying to
talking
get y'all to understand is, if you read the whole book of Genesis, like I've read the whole book of the Bible, it talks about the tribes in there that they built and that they came from. I get what you're saying.
But
I
you're not
totally get
listening.
what you're saying.
You
You're
getting it,
saying
but you're not
before that
listening.
part.
You're still
No,
not
no, no.
listening.
I hear you, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. If you read the book, what you're telling me is, I read the book from chapter 1 to chapter 4, right?
Yes.
All right.
No.
Okay.
We
That's
So then
what
we
said
already
Florida.
get
That
together.
hold on. That's what Florida is saying. Florida said he read from chapter 1 to chapter 4. But what Perk is saying, if you read the whole book, when you get to towards the end or with middle, wherever, that it goes back and talks about the tribes that were created.
okay, so what tribe did Cain's wife come from?
I don't know exactly
I
what
know.
tribe she came from.
Okay, so
I mean, you don't know about the tribe. So even if I told you what tribe she came from, would you be able to tell me?
but the tribes came after Abraham, as you stated earlier. Abraham is a descendant from Cain.
The only thing
Let's
it says,
see.
even if you get to chapter 5, it talked about Adam descendants, which
The
he
tribes came from Jacob.
Right, but Jacob is a descendant of
descended Adam.
Adam and Cain and all the mothers. Like I think it's what Genesis 5 or 6 when it goes through the genealogy.
Y'all made me go listen to this book.
No, Genesis is
somewhat, but that part's not, because they never really tell how that came about.
I got a chronological Bible over here. It tells you exactly.
Chronological Bible.
Yeah, the Bible that is written in the actual way that the events actually happen in the Bible.
Genesis 49:4. Let's see. Uncontrolled word.
Genesis 49:4.
Let's see. Hold on.
That's talking about that's you off into the flood and all that stuff by now.
Because you got it's Enoch, you got Lamech, whatever his name is. No, excuse me. Enoch Cain and his wife, they had a son named Enoch. He built the city after his son, and then Enoch born Irad, Beget, Majala, and Majala had a son, Methuselah, then Methuselah had Lamech. All that's good, but we're just saying in the beginning, it just talk about God creating everything. Then there's Adam and Eve, and then Cain leaves and goes and find a wife. So that means even if the tribes did happen, how did they get there? Because we still got Adam and Eve. That means either them two say, you know what, you go to this side, I'm gonna go to this side, we're gonna populate the earth.
Quita, what you reading, Quita?
I'm looking for his name is Perry Stone. Like Perry Stone had talked about this. I'm looking
Perry
for the
Stone?
sermon. I'm looking for the sermon where he was talking about it.
Because it does say Adam had another wife, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For God said she had appointed.
Adam had another wife?
It says, if you go to Genesis 4, Genesis chapter 4, verse 25. And it said Adam knew his wife again, which means he saw another woman, knew that was his wife, and she bare a son, and he called his name Seth. And Seth had a son and named him Enos, not like in the beginning, the other Enos.
In some ways, Genesis is in order, but technically not, because when they talk about Cain finding a wife, I don't know if that was before or after.
Ain't no way that shit can skip like that if they only had 2 children.
This one I got that from.
And Adam lived to be 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness and after his image, and called his name Seth. In the days after Adam, he had begotten Seth were 100 years, and he begat sons and daughters. What we were gonna say about this, they was living back in the days.
What was that? What was that? Sound like someone was powering down.
Sound like something at TJ house. So it's okay. We know about the tribes. We're just saying, how did they get there? Because none of this happened. We don't hear about the tribes until Cain gets kicked out of his of Adam and Eve.
But we got a Bible study on that, need some phrase. Just read that order. It give you more insight on it.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the son of God came into the daughter of men, and they bare children to them, the same became the mighty men which were odd men of renown. Where's my book? Because I think I was supposed to study this as a weekend. Because they talk about the tribe, how God split people up and told them that's how deacons came.
Okay, so what you said, knew his wife again. So they're saying that was the polite way of saying sex.
Right. That's when you say
so him saying knew his wife again, that's not saying he had a new wife.
Right. When in the Bible, when they say and he knew her, they had sex.
Not so he knew his wife again. That's not a different wife, sort of.
Where we go? The Lord's deacon ministry. Keep it on top. Where we go? Acts.
What did he just say?
Acts 6 and 1. Where's Acts? Bible study in the calf today, baby. Bible study in the calf today. Acts chapter 6, verse 1. What is the tribes? Excuse me, 1 Timothy. Where's Timothy? First Timothy chapter 3, 8.
All right, I got a good Wi-Fi now. God damn it. Well, what we
All
looking?
right now.
What we looking up?
The population of the earth.
Well, there was two different times because it also talked about Adam having another son named Seth in chapter 5.
Yeah, we was just talking about that because Florida thought that Adam had more than one wife because it said he knew his wife again. And I just told him when the Bible says knew that it was speaking of sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
You asked where it talking about the tribes at Florida?
I'm trying to find it, but I know the leaders of the tribe, which was Philip, Procopius, I don't know how to say his name, Nicanor, Timon, Parames, Nicholas, and
Go
Stephen.
to chapter 10 and talk about the tribes in chapter 10 of Genesis 2.
I know the leaders of the tribes, I can tell you that.
No, because it talk about the from Shem to Abraham, and then it talks about no, that's not right. It talks about the table of the nations, the Japhites, the Hamites, and the Semites.
So these are descendants of Noah.
So you're saying that Cain's wife came from one of these tribes?
I'm not saying that he did, but they don't speak of how the population was.
That's what we asked. That's what we were saying.
I got what you're saying, but you just saying from chapter 1 to there, that's still not telling that part about what happened with the people that we talking about. So you can't just say, "Oh,
yes, I can. Yes, I can, because it said in the beginning."
Okay, even in the beginning, bro, it still talked about the part about Noah. So when
in the beginning, no, it doesn't. No. Noah is further along.
No, it's in Genesis. You're talking about 1 through 4, right?
It has. It don't say nothing.
I'm gonna add chapter.
So the conflict.
Chapter 10 is part.
Hold on, TJ. Say it again, Perk. Say it one more time again, Perk.
All right, I said you yourself was saying because it's 1 through 4. Where did these people come from? Right?
Correct.
So what I'm saying is, you made it seem like if it don't become in between 1 and 4, that there's nothing there. And what
it isn't.
Okay, then. So my argument is that you're wrong, because even in a book, you can have flashbacks and you can go forward into a story. So what you're talking about, because even in what was just said about chapter 4 and chapter 10, they talk about the flood.
Oh,
we all see.
But that's further along. That's right down the road. It says in the beginning. It talks about
the flood.
But that's down the road. And it said it's no flood in 4 or 5 or 6.
But that's what I'm saying. You're saying it like it's in order and they couldn't go back or forward. So you're telling me right now in chapter 1 through 4, that was the beginning of the earth.
That's yeah. Why would you put it? Why would you put it like that? Why would God go out of order?
So that's where the conflict comes in, because according to the way it was written as if it was telling you like sequential order. Then you're saying
that's not how I took that. But go ahead.
That's not how you took what the Bible said?
Well, I did not. Just like I wouldn't take the part about you saying polygamous and people that believe in the Bible.
So if somebody said in the beginning, you like, okay, they not
sure for with that, right? But
movies do it all the time.
They'll run something one time.
I'm saying they will run it first and then run it back.
But they would actually, you can tell that it's a flashback, or they telling you a foresight, or they.
Dude, where did the people? Common sense tell you that there was people somewhere for him to have a wife.
But it says,
and it started with two people.
Okay, so where? Point me in the Bible. It say exactly where those people came from.
It don't say exactly. I guess I don't know. I'm not a theologian.
This is a very good conversation. I really want the research part for this part, but I also want, because you niggas is weird right now to me.
How is that a weird
How is that
question?
weird? Part it said. Hold on, wait a minute. It said in the Bible, in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth.
And I was gonna say bring Reb on here, but I want you to bring your pastor. I want you to bring your pastor and him to explain to us where them people came from, and from chapter.
I want to talk to him.
You said what?
I want to talk to him.
Yeah, I want to hear y'all conversation because what you said about the polygamy thing and the belief. Hey, listen, yeah, I don't agree with that part. But the 1 through 4, I can get you saying, okay, 1 through 4, that's that. But to say, okay, where these people came from, so if the people didn't come from nowhere, who the fuck was he marrying? He just
that's
married.
What we're trying to. That's once again, he said he found another wife. So where did the other woman come from?
But that's what I'm saying, bro. You can't sit here and say because it's 1 through 4 in sequential order, because that's why I'm telling you now. If we're going through sequential order, right, and you're saying 1 through 4, and we get to 10, we all seen the flood. We seen the flood.
The flood happened
why
later
is the flood
on.
in Genesis 1 through 10?
Because it's in the Old Testament.
Okay, well, if we talking about the flood being where it's at, that clearly came to erase everything that happened before it. So we can't use that example to say why that came then and not earlier, because it erased everything that happened before it. Supposedly. So that's that apparent according to the time that it was written in the Bible, or the place that it is in the Bible. It happened because it did away with everything that happened before the flood happened, because there was the perversion and everything in the Bible.
All right, so let me ask this one question, TJ. You brought up this point. Do you believe in that?
And what? In
the polygamy in the Bible situation.
Break that down. You say the polygamy in the Bible.
What was your I want to give exactly what you said. You said if you believe in the Bible and don't believe in polygamy, right? Or how did you say that?
Okay. I say I question people's thought process, when a woman's thought process, when she shunned polygamy, but yet she believes in the Bible, right? Not saying that she can say that it's not for her, meaning she don't believe in it, but for you to say that it's to talk about people that are doing it, but yet you believe in the Bible, that's kind of like, are you talking about these men that's in the Bible too? The same way you're talking of these men and women that's in the Bible, the same way you're talking about these men and women that's in your day and time.
But that's like giving a sin a level. We all sin. That don't mean we stop believing in the Bible. So for somebody who don't believe in polygamy, you said about the prominent people, prominent men.
It's not the believing part that you're getting caught up on the believing part. It's the thought process behind it. I'm saying, if like for instance, Quita said, like I posed a question to Quita. Quita was saying at this point she might be okay with a polygamous relationship, right? But there are women, there's a woman out there, the opposite of Quita, that say, nah, I'm not okay with a polygamous relationship, right? And there's another woman that would say, oh hell no, that shit is gross. But that woman that's saying that shit is gross also believes in the Bible and is a devout Christian. And
what's wrong with that though?
But if you're believing in the Bible, and for instance, King David, right? And King David was the one that basically is got the what is it? The Judah, the damn, I forgot the what's the goddamn thing? The tabernacle. The one he was the one that structured the tabernacle in their religion. So he was a prominent guy in the Bible. He had multiple wives, multiple concubines, and all of that, right? He's preached on in somebody's church damn near every Sunday, every Wednesday, and most revivals or whatever the case may be. For you to shun polygamous relationships, but yet agree with the stuff that David was doing, that there's
But who's to
something
say they
wrong with it.
agree? Cain killed Abel and we don't agree with it, but we still believe in the Bible.
And people say Cain and Abel were twins. So I mean, it's a lot that you can't say that if I don't believe it, because to me it's like you saying one sin is bigger than the other sin, and it's like I don't believe. I believe. We can take the word believe out. I listen to what's in the Bible. There's some things I don't agree with. Let's be clear. So somebody we brought up.
You structure your life around the things that you do believe in.
Yes, I do. I believe stuff that Muslims do. I believe stuff that Jews do. I believe stuff that everybody do. There's something in that we all should be doing. But do I believe, okay, if they don't believe in polygamy, that that's contradictive? No, because I mean that's just like people when people talk about LGBT community and preachers talking about it. It's wrong. It's wrong in the Bible. Now I can sit here and say, you know what, I still love you. I'm still your family, and I'm not gonna be mad at you. But yeah, it's wrong, and you can't do that around me. I do agree with that. And a lot of preachers don't want to talk about that because they feel like, okay, well, the LGBT community gonna come after me, blah blah. Okay, and what? They went after Chick-fil-A, and look what happened. At the end of the day, you're gonna stand for what you believe in, regardless of who believes in it or not. But if I look at the Bible and I think about polygamy, and one dude said some people are already doing polygamy whether they like it or not. You talking to a married man and you got a side piece. You messing around with your baby mama, but he married to somebody else. So I mean, you still doing polygamy in some kind of way. My thing is, I just don't see how that part is contradictory, but there's other things in the Bible that we don't contradict though.
Well, I got two things. When you say that gay stuff is wrong, are you saying that because it says it's in the Bible, or are you saying that why are you saying that it's wrong?
Two cities were destroyed for homosexuality.
I'm talking to Perk. I'm asking Perk.
God said it was wrong. God said it was wrong. He didn't make it.
That's the only reason you're saying that it's wrong is because God said it's wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say 2 cities was destroyed for homosexuality.
But it wasn't just because of homosexuality, though, right?
Understood.
It was sexual perversion, not just homosexuality. It was promiscuous.
Understood. But literally, he asked. You know, he couldn't even find 10 people. He couldn't find 5 people.
That was righteous.
That was righteous.
It wasn't just because they were dealing with homosexuality. It was just because
these people came to the house to sleep with the angel.
Exactly. So it was just.
So he destroyed.
They were just sexual and immoral. They were doing a whole bunch of sexual and immoral shit.
And as we are now. But that's on us.
So let me ask you this question. Do you believe in religion or do you believe in Christianity?
I wouldn't call myself a Christian. And the reason.
Okay, what do you call yourself?
Nothing. I'm a student of Christ, which means I read and study the Bible daily. Well, I ain't gonna say daily.
You was a student of Grambling. You're a Grambling Knight. I was just wondering. I was just wondering.
I was a student at Grambling, right? But I graduated from Grambling. That would make me a Grambling Knight.
Oh my gosh! So I gotta graduate from like a biblical.
No, you see, here's the thing.
That's misconstrued of being an alumni. You don't have to graduate.
To be an alumni, a Grambling Knight.
All you gotta do is have 1 credit to be an alumni.
You say you gotta have 1 credit to be an alumni?
That's it. That's the definition.
Oh, snap.
Graduating is not the
criteria
requirement.
Yeah, it's not. And the other part is alumni is not for. I think alumni is there's a difference between alumni and alumni.
Yeah, all of them. The alumni is like is the collective of the group of people. The alumni is one is for a woman, one is for a man.
Mm-hmm.
And alumni is like just the overall general blanket term. Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like that when I said that in school. Like, you don't have to graduate to be there.
True.
Florida, you good?
Yeah, looking that shit up. What you mean?
My guy over there reading it.
He using that masters to his ability right now. He researching.
All right.
Oh, it's all good, baby. Because I'm telling you now, I'm good with the research on it. Because I promise you, trust me, by the time we have this next conversation, I'm gonna have all the answers for you.
You'll be the first, because nobody ever could explain where wife came from. Even if it came from tribes, where everything happened in the book in the Bible is happening chronology.
So are you gonna bring your pastor, or do I need to bring real?
Bring around.
Okay, I bring real.
And see, this is my thing, and this is why I particularly don't care for church so much, because this is the shit I want to talk about. Like, I want to break the Bible down and like why is it written the way it's written, and why is it, like you said, why are we going in the backstories, right? And I'm cool with the backstories, but let's break this shit down so I can understand which tribe did Cain's wife come from. That's what I want to know.
I don't really care which one he came from, because that ain't gonna get me in the heaven. I need to know what's gonna get me in the heaven. Knowing about Cain and who his wife was. First of all, I'm trying to get my own wife.
And where she came from.
Hey, but
his
I
own
think you but you missing the point. We were just saying.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, he know what y'all saying. He just saying he don't give a damn about none of that. Because it ain't gonna get him in the head.
But if you don't give a damn, then say that. But the Bible is put in chronological order. Everything happened this way. So if to say that to go to a backstory just to get to a front story, that I can tell you right now, that ain't true. That's not true. That's not true.
For the case,
that is not true. Nobody is nobody. You. That's like saying, all right,
it's in chronological order when they.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's not in chronological order because they talk about.
No. This is why I know you're wrong. Because when you talk about American history, you say the first president. You don't go say the 15th president and come back to number one. You don't go back and say the French Revolution, but forget about president number two. Everything you put with dealing with history, you put it in order.
If you believe that says a lot. Because first
I ain't gotta believe it's the truth,
bro. In the book,
nobody talks about your kindergarten picture before your the first time you was born. Everything starts when Perk was born. This happened. Nobody gonna say he graduated from Graham State University, but then he graduated from kindergarten. Everything is when they're dealing with history, it has to be in order. You can't go to no backstory.
So. Question, Perk, when you say, are you saying Genesis itself is not in chronological order?
It has to be in order when you dealing with history.
I know. I'm asking.
He said it was the Bible was in order, and I said
I know the entire Bible is not. I'm speaking about Genesis.
I'm talking about though. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so that was my question.
If we talking about in order, then why in Genesis chapter 10 are we talking about the flood and we seen the flood? You can't just you can't just talk about Genesis and say, okay, everything was in chronological order.
But that was the purpose of Genesis, right? Doesn't it translate to in the beginning?
It talks about the beginning, but it talks about the end as well, right?
It talks. No, you see now you're talking about in the Old Testament. Everything. No. This is why you can bring whatever passage to argue me with them. When anything happened in the Old Testament, God talked about everything that happened that's going to happen in the New Testament. He said his son was going to come and die for him. If you go, I can't remember the chapters, but everything where his son died, it happened in the New Testament. He said that his son was going to get born. He everything happened in the Old Testament happened in the New Testament. So when you say that type of shit, everything I know you're wrong.
In the Old Testament.
Everything was prophesied in the Old Testament happened in the New Testament. He said there was going to be
So in the Old Testament they talk about tithing, right?
Yeah.
How much do you supposed to tithe in the New Testament?
It doesn't say in the New Testament say about grace giving. But when did it happen? In the New Testament, after he risen and went to heaven.
Okay, but how long was it before people started talking about the New Testament?
What you mean?
How long ago was it people started talking about the New Testament? Because when I was raised, it was talking about paying a 10%.
10%.
Yes, the New Testament been here.
But guess when it happened? After the Old Testament.
Because they're still teaching 10%.
That's what I asked. My question was, when did you find out about the New Testament? Because it was taught to all of us to pay 10%. The New Testament been here. They just didn't add the New Testament when you got to 21.
No. You're right about that part. But keep it in fact. It happened after when?
My question is,
I answered your question. It happened. I didn't learn about grace giving literally until 2019 when my pastor did the research and told us really the 10% died when he died. You're supposed to do grace giving. Give as much as you feel given, it will be given back to you.
I give 10%.
But it doesn't say you had to stop though.
No. But I'm saying some people still go off the point of I can give 10%, and then you have the people who feel like, okay, I don't want to give 10%. I'm gonna give 5%. Or I'm gonna give 20%.
That's up to you.
But my thing is, when you talk about it being in order, and you just found out at 21, and you got hold on, you got other people who's older than us, who 50 years old, who've been doing 10%, 50 years old. But why didn't they get into the New Testament if we just got in the New Testament? But the New Testament has been there.
I got it. Because we didn't study to show ourselves approved.
Listen, but once again, when did it happen? It is all in order. Yeah, but you're taking away from my topic to get to your topic. My topic is still your topic. Yes, you is, because you're not saying you're not putting it in place.
We already disagreed on the chapter situation, Florida. That's not going nowhere. You believe that chapter 1 and chapter 4, that's the way it go. I don't. I believe it's a flashback in the
so
ain't no reason for me to talk about that.
Okay, then let that shit go then, because everything is still happening in order. And I guarantee you they will say everything happened in order. Nothing was out of order.
I guarantee they won't.
Son,
You can ask.
Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. I could probably put on it. And that's why I said bring your pastor.
Well, my pastor passed away, so we can't bring him.
Bring the pastor that you brought before.
Who?
The pastor that was on the show.
I'll bring him on, but he ain't my pastor, but I'll bring him on.
Oh, you talking about your pastor? Oh,
right.
Pastors.
Everything is.
Can we not blindside them? Can we give them a list of questions that is the issue? Let's not blindside them.
I would not.
I would tell Pastor Thomas what he getting into. I mean, this is what I know about him. He gonna keep it real. And if anybody know him and me, they know he'll tell me if I'm wrong. Straight up. Anybody know Pastor Thomas know him and Perk will get into a conversation, debate, argument. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I can't say I got all the answers to the Bible, but I can tell you what I was taught and what I was raised on.
You just can't. You don't skip around when it comes to history. Even when it comes to your history, nobody talks about. They always talk about first.
People don't.
TJ even just.
Now that you are a little far-fetched on that. Like, I was thinking, like, when you're talking about the Bible itself, I know for sure that it's not in chronological. The whole Bible is not in chronological order.
I can prove it. You just gotta give me time. I can prove because everything that's
he literally said he has books the way that it's done, and
it's everything that's happened in the Old Testament. They talked about it, they prophesied it, and then it happened in the New Testament.
That's a prophecy, though.
So that's you're talking about the Old Testament and the New Testament. The New Testament was written hundreds of years after the Old Testament, like hundreds.
But it's still
only a prophecy. It was foreseen.
Mark, Luke, and John are the only three where it's the same thing, but just tell it in different ways. Everything else, it happened behind the story.
That's how some of the other ones are.
No. They talk about when God was on earth.
Bro, but they're talking about it from their eyes.
Their experience.
Yes.
They talk about, y'all not listening to what I'm saying.
What you saying?
Mark, Luke, and John talk about the same thing, right?
Okay.
Those are three different people.
Right, but it's all those stories are the exact same.
The exact same story, just told different.
But
Everybody
it's
else.
from their point of view.
Listen to what I'm saying. Y'all not listening.
We saying what you're saying, bro. But you want us to say
No. You're not listening to what I'm saying. Y'all keep over talking me. If y'all just be quiet.
You're saying the same thing. You're just saying it.
No, I'm not. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. You won't let me finish. Y'all still won't let me finish. You still won't let me finish. You still won't let me finish. You still won't let me finish.
Go finish.
Mark, Luke,
in the Bible.
TJ, let me finish. God damn it.
I got you.
But you won't let me finish. But you won't let me finish.
Shut up.
Let me finish. All I'm asking is let me finish. Mark, Luke, and John, we all know talk about the same thing when God was on earth. Everybody else talk about something different. These are the only three people that talk about the same story in a different way.
Right.
So everybody else's story is not like Mark, Luke, and John. Even Hannah, her story is different.
Okay.
So everything happened after that. It's in chronological order.
Okay, but we're not arguing with that fact. We just said that everybody was telling it from their point of view. The same thing.
But they're not telling the same story.
You're not saying they're telling the same story.
What Florida is saying, those three people are telling the exact same story. Like those three books, everything in those three books are the exact same story. They're just told from those guys' perspective, but it's all talking about the same exact story.
Thing.
Everything else in the Bible is talking about different occurrences.
Okay, but
thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing about chronological order.
It happened in chronological order.
In the Bible, it's talking about what they seen and what they went through. Then it's gonna come from different people. That's just like right now. We could talk about this conversation, and there's four of us on here. Two of us gonna talk about the same exact thing. That don't mean we talking about chronological order. All I'm saying is the people.
Y'all arguing two different points right now.
What I'm saying,
I'm gonna just leave it like this. Revelation is the last book. Why would Revelation be the last book? Why would Revelation be the last book of the Bible? That's all. I'm gonna just leave it there. Revelation. Why would Revelation be the last book?
It prophesies the end.
Well. Now, Florida, to that point, why Revelation is the last book, like when they had the Council of Nicaea and they took the vote on like how they was gonna put this thing together, they just put it together that way. Like they voted on how they was gonna, like, which books was gonna go where and which ones was gonna be in the Bible and which ones was not gonna be in the Bible. So that, to answer that question.
Still in chronological order. Because you wouldn't talk about the end in the middle, would you? No. Answer this question. Would you talk about your death right now, TJ? TJ, would you talk about your death right now? Would you tell the true story of your death right now?
I can't tell the story of my own death.
If it was prophesied, that's the only way that you'll be able to tell it.
I couldn't tell the story of my own death.
Hey, Quita.
If it was prophesied, then you would be able to talk about your death in the middle.
I couldn't. The person who's prophesying it to me can talk about it.
Exactly. The person that prophesies it to you can tell you about your death, and then you can write about it, and then you die that way. It was like, oh, well, it was foreseen.
Well, I'll put it at the end, though.
So if you write a book, it's just going to be in chronological order. That's what you're saying.
If you was to write about your story, would you jump around?
You're going to jump around.
So. Oh no!
You're going to jump around because here go the thing. There's going to be things that come up that you're going to have to go back and talk about because you're not going to talk about everything.
You're not going to go into.
You're not going to cover everything, and when you get to a certain point of like you saying, okay, I went through this thing, and then you'll be like, okay, so when I was 6 years old, this happened, and now this will bring you up to speed of it. Matter of fact, I'll give you one better. If everybody know about Yellowstone, most people that tell you to watch Yellowstone, they tell you to go watch 1877 and 1923 because they tell you the backstory of Yellowstone. But guess what? Yellowstone came out first, from what I know, Yellowstone came out, and then people said you need to go watch them two before you watch that.
But how did you even prove my point? They said go watch that, but it's still a beginning part to it.
But people already have been watching Yellowstone before them two came out.
But it still was in order.
It is not in order, bro.
Marvel is not even in order. They don't even make their movies in order.
I need not try to be funny. I don't even know what Yellowstone is.
It's about it's like a Western movie. So it's with Kevin Costner.
I don't even know what that is, so I can't even comment on that. So I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I don't either, but I know everybody been talking about watching it and how it's good. Like I've talked to people, I've talked to hood people, and they be like, "Yeah, bro, that's some gang stuff right there." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna go watch it." So then when I told this older lady about it, I was talking to, and she was like, "Nah, listen, it's good, but go watch them two before you watch them." And I'm like, "But why am I watch them?" They was like, "Because they are the part that tells you about why they do the stuff in Yellowstone." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." But
so they went back and described it.
Them two came out after Yellowstone to me, though. And don't quote me and say that they did, but it was like I heard Yellowstone way before. When 18 something and it's another one. When they came out, it was after I heard about Yellowstone. And that's why I said, like, I get if you've never heard about the what is it, foreshadowing, when you talk about stuff and they talk about stuff that you don't get to read in the movie or in the story, to me, that's what happened in the Bible. When they start talking about different things and they just pop up with these things, it's like, okay, we skip some parts. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, okay, well, let me go find out what happened to her. Because like I said about the wife, I want my own wife right now. That's just perk. But I'm asking the question because TJ over talking about pilots, and I'm like, okay, I hope your future wife don't see this, because we all gonna need therapy. He gonna call and be like, Perk, what TJ on? He doing it for ratings. That's all I can tell you. He doing it for ratings.
He doing it for ratings.
Bible study just went down in the cab, so this is the episode. So now, literally,
I'm cool with this though.
No, it's an episode now. We over an hour. We did an hour.
I think that's great though.
Son, we gotta delete the beginning though.
No. We keep it. Bashra. No.
Bro, you need to cut that out, bro.
So
don't mess up what we got going now.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
We session about Bible study and we got some information we should don't mess that up.
Yeah, Bashir, y'all need to stop. They ain't going nowhere.
G14 classified. That's good.
Headline, Starlight.
Long live DJ Star.